Hey guys, it's Lance of Max Sound Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about headphones, and we're going to be talking about the Bose QuietComfort Ultra version 2, and they'll be on sale starting October 2nd. And we're going to compare them to the original. These are the Bose QuietComfort Ultra version 1. The design is pretty much the same, but there are some unique differences between the two sets. And we're also going to talk about just good old passive headphones. They don't have any onboard DSP. Bose are known for their industry-leading noise cancellation. They're just great at removing all that exterior noise and putting you in the zone when you're listening to your music. And I love watching movies with immersive audio. It just puts you right in the movie, and you don't have to be blasting your speakers in your house when other people are sleeping. And also to be really immersed in a video game, they're awesome for that. And now the QuietComfort Ultra version 2 support lossless audio via a USB-C connection. So you can use them with Bluetooth wirelessly, and now you have the ability to play back lossless with a wired connection, and you also still have that mini input jack for a wired connection to the entertainment system on an airplane, for instance. And you can click a link above to go to the website and pick up a pair. And I do earn a commission, so thanks for your support. Okay, so let's talk about lossless audio for a second. And this is not scripted. I'm just going to ramble on here, so sorry about that, but that's the way I do my videos. These are analog headphones. You plug them into your DAC, your digital audio converter, you plug them into your mixing board like I have back here, or you plug them into your Mac, right? And it just goes from the digital audio conversion to the headphones. And if you have your playback on your app set to lossless, or you have downloaded lossless files, which is uncompressed, you're hearing that in the headphones. You're hearing that uncompressed signal. Now, obviously, these are wireless headphones, so when you're using Bluetooth, it's very compressed. Even if you're playing lossless on your Mac, it's not going to be lossless in the headphones, and it's being compressed by the Bluetooth signal. And then they have this version. Now you can use a USB-C cable, and Bose calls it lossless, whereas the old version does not support that. You can't plug in a USB-C cable and listen to lossless audio files. But the catch is, even if you turn off the active noise cancellation, and obviously you don't have spatial audio on, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but when you have everything turned off, everything bypassed, and you have them plugged in, you're playing your lossless file, it is still going through their DSP chip. There's a little computer in here. It's doing its own little bit of EQ magic, and then it gets to your ears. So it's not the same as using analog headphones, plugging them in. You get what you get. These, you don't know what you're getting exactly. Bose is doing whatever they do behind the scenes through their DSP chip. And, you know, like with Apple's AirPod Maxes, and I don't know if these work the same way, but when you listen at a low volume, the EQ curve changes. Even if you're listening to lossless audio with a USB-C cable, and then you crank them up, the EQ curve, the highs and the lows get brought down. And I'm not saying they don't sound good, but the point is you're not getting 100% lossless audio like you are with a set of analog cans. So I'm not trying to say there's no benefit with the lossless audio with these new headphones. There is, because you get that lossless audio direct into the headphones before they hit the DSP chip, and then you can turn on the spatial audio and the noise reduction, and that's going to be a much better sound in general than just using the Bluetooth wireless connection. Most people are not going to do that with these headphones. They're not going to sit there and do the audiophile thing. Audiophiles are going to have a wired connection. They're going to use headphones like these, and these I found are quite bright compared to the Bose. In fact, they're too bright. I don't really like the way they sound for just listening, but they're good for audio production when you're in a room with a bunch of musicians and everybody's playing their amps. That's when you want to use headphones like these. So audiophiles are going to use something more high-end, something more expensive than my Beyer Dynamics. Those are really for the studio. But one thing I found with the Bose headphones is that when you bypass everything and you're listening to a lossless file via USB-C, it sounds very thin. And then when you go put the noise cancellation on, even at the lowest setting, all of a sudden they sound full. They sound like they should, right? I mean, there's probably a little more bass than there should be, but when you compare it to the old models, they sound the same at that low noise cancellation setting because the active EQ is engaged for the noise reduction. And that's what these headphones are really set up for. So when you listen to it with no noise reduction, which the other original ones cannot do, they sound super thin. And I think Bose should have done some compensating with the EQ on that one setting, because they do it in cinema mode. They boost the mids so they can do it. But for some reason, when you're in completely bypassed everything, you're listening to a lossless file via the USB-C cable, it sounds thin. And of course, you can go set your own EQ, but it's going to be a global EQ and affect every other setting. So you'll have to always go turn the EQ off when you want to go wireless and turn it back on when you want to use lossless wired. And I found it needed a 10 dB boost in the low end to get you close to what it sounds like when you have the active noise cancellation on. So both sets of headphones, the old ones and the new one, have the little mini input, the mini plug. You could be thinking to yourself, well, I can just use that to listen to lossless audio, right? Well, you can, but at a cost. There's a price. Whereas the USB connection is a direct digital signal to the headphones, goes to the DSP chip, and then that gets converted to analog for you to be able to hear the signal from the computer. So it's lossless all the way to the headphones. And then when you use the little mini plug, like they have that on the old set too, when you use this guy, it's getting converted 3 times. D to A, digital to analog, to the analog cable, and then it goes to the headphones, and then that's getting converted analog to digital to send it through the DSP chip, and then after that, it's then getting converted again, digital to analog, so you can hear it. So it's getting a triple conversion, which is never good. So the lossless USB connection is going to give you the best audio via a lossless signal into these headphones. And you cannot do that with the older ones. You can only do the triple conversion. One thing I want to note is whatever settings you have on the headphones when you were using them with Bluetooth will translate to the mini plug. You can't go in and change the settings when you're connected via the mini plug. It doesn't allow you to connect to the app. But whatever settings you had before you switch to the mini plug, it's going to remember them. The EQ, the immersive setting, and the active noise reduction. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Bose's immersive audio. Then Apple has their own spatial audio, and then there's Dolby Atmos. And these are 3 different things, but immersive and spatial are pretty much the same. It takes a stereo signal and turns it into a 3D sound stage. And the QuietComfort Ultras do not support Dolby Atmos like your Apple headphones can. But Dolby Atmos is really made for a multi-speaker array. So this is your basic Dolby Atmos setup. You have your center channel, you've got your 2 stereo speakers in the front, you got your subwoofer, you have 2 in the ceiling, and you've got 2 rear speakers. And that's the smallest Dolby Atmos system. And here's a more complex Atmos system with 7 speakers, 1 subwoofer, and 4 in the ceiling. So this gets even more complex, and of course in the big movie theaters they have even more speakers. And there are Dolby Atmos soundbars, and Bose makes one, for instance, but that's not really a true Atmos system. But it does decode the Atmos mix and toss it around your living room. And here's a Dolby mix engine and renderer that audio engineers use to mix a film or to mix music with Dolby Atmos. You can take a signal and put it through all the different speakers that are set up in the real Dolby Atmos system. And if you've ever heard one, it's really pretty incredible. I got to go to Apple Apple Studios once. My friend works there. He played me a couple of tunes like Elton John and Pink Floyd and played them back in their dedicated mix room for Dolby Atmos. And it was like, wow, this is cool. Great for going to the movies. It sounds fantastic. So, when you condense all that audio to a stereo headset, even though it's spatial, you got a lot of phasing. It's not what the original engineer intended. They take that multi-speaker mix and they fold it down to 2 channels. So even though there's some spatialness to it, it's nothing like hearing it with that full Dolby system. So it doesn't have to be Atmos to be immersive. Bose has immersive audio, Apple has spatial audio. They both do the same thing. They take a stereo signal and make it sound more three-dimensional, and you have these modes of still and motion where you can either have the audio locked in place and you move your head around and the audio does not follow your head. So it's great for when you're watching a movie and it seems like the voice is always coming out of your TV as opposed to moving your head to the left and then the voice also moves to the left with you. Some people like it, some people don't. I prefer it when I'm watching TV. And then there's motion, which is really better for when you're listening to music because the music just follows your head wherever your head goes. You don't really want your music staying in one location, right? Like you would with a movie. Anyway, they are very similar, and with Apple, you have to have the spatial audio on if you want to use Dolby Atmos. So Apple has a license for Atmos for AirPods, but again, it's just being folded down to a stereo mix, and honestly, it doesn't sound really any better than just a stereo file going through the immersive or the spatial processor. It's just Dolby Atmos folded down to a stereo file, and it can sound good if the engineer's intent was to mix it for stereo, which doesn't get done very often. They're mainly putting the time in for that multi-speaker setup, and if there's a little budget left, they'll go do a stereo pass. So here's David Bowie's Best of Bowie album. It's lossless only. It does not have Atmos files. And when you have an Atmos album, it's a combination of all of the above, the lossless, the Atmos, and the compressed version. So you can set your Apple Music application to download the lossless files. You can only stream Atmos. You can't download them. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes you got to hit play and skip to the next song and skip back if you wanted to switch to the Atmos file, but if you have Atmos turned on all the time, then it will automatically play the Atmos file. But you got to be careful of that because if you're using non-Atmos headphones like the Bose, then you're going to be listening to a folded down Atmos mix and then running it through the Bose settings. And you don't want that. You really just want to play back the lossless file or the compressed file when you're playing it into the Bose headphones. You don't want to have Atmos turned on at all in your Apple Music applications. If you're using Apple's headphones, then you can have Atmos turned on and the headphones will decode it, play back the Atmos, but you still have to have spatial audio turned on. Otherwise, you're going to be hearing the regular compressed file or the lossless file depending on your Apple Music application settings. And audio has just gotten so complicated. In the old days, you dropped the needle on the record, there was no sample rate. You just heard the analog signal playing through your speakers. And now you've got lossless, you've got Dolby Atmos, you've got immersive, spatial, different sample rates, different bit rates. It's crazy. So you need to download the Bose app and connect it to your headphones. And you can use the 2 different sets of headphones I have, version 1 and version 2. They come with their own presets. Bose calls the presets modes. And we're looking at the version 2 presets. And we've got Quiet, Aware, Immersion, Cinema, and we've got Home. And Home I added myself. That is one of their pre-named user-adjustable presets. So you can go in there and change all the settings to whatever you want, whereas the other ones you cannot. Those are factory presets that you can't change. The one thing you can do is add very basic equalization. You only have the 3 bands to play with, but it's global. it does it to all the presets. You can't just store a separate equalization setting to one preset, which is too bad. It'd be nice if Home could have one EQ setting and you could have a different one for Cinema. They do that with their presets because Cinema has a lot more mid-range boost in it than their other presets, but they don't let you EQ things differently. And when you change the EQ, it is stored to the headphones, so even when you're not connected and you switch devices, that EQ curve is still going to be there. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. And I really do like the upgraded headphones, the version 2 of the QuietComfort Ultras, because I used them on a flight over to England and I was able to just cancel out all the noise in the airplane, watch a movie with immersive sound. They're super comfortable. I had no problem sleeping with these on. They're light, unlike Apple's headphones that are quite heavy on your head. I can wear them for many hours straight. Great for gaming, and they're a great upgrade for listening to music because they now have the lossless audio option. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next Max Sound Solutions video.